So not only did we have to follow Miss Finger, but she ended with the Queen Bee as her last graphic. So, good morning. I am so excited because they let the old person talk with these cool young people. And so I'm gonna try to act a little cool. I'm getting tremendous cool points with my daughter, who's 11. And I called her last night and talked to her again this morning. She's like, Mommy, I'm so excited. Why am I not there? And I really didn't have a good reason, so I owe her an apology. But ladies, good morning.
Good morning.
This is really exciting, and it's really exciting because, as Aria just said, we young people are really leading the charge and doing great things. And it is so exciting because the rest of us old people can follow behind and watch you take the lead and know that the world is going to be left a better place. And so I have to ask you, at 11 years old, what made you decide to change the world? And tell us how you did it, just a little bit.
Okay, well, hello everybody. I hope you guys are having a good morning. I woke up a little bit tired, but that's for another time. So I've been able to start the 1,000 Black Girl Books campaign, which is a social action campaign that has collected almost 10,000 books where Black girls are the main characters and been able to donate them to places all across the world. And I really started this when I was 11 because I saw white boys and their dogs as the main character of all the books I was reading. And as much as I love the stories that I had to read in school and I enjoyed reading, I felt that the diversity I was seeing in my home through the books in my personal library, I wasn't seeing at my school. And that was a huge systemic issue, not just for me, but for places all across the country. So I decided that I was going to collect 1,000 books and donate them to a community in Jamaica where my mom was born. And I've been able to be extremely successful in that respect, and I've collected now almost 10,000 and have a resource guide with a list of 1,000 of the books that I've collected for teachers and parents and guidance counselors and basically anyone who wants to learn more about how diversity can be inside of their homes, their schools, and their families. And I really want to promote not only just breaking the systems, but making diversity a normalized thing and not being such a special idea that I want to promote inclusion, that it's important, and making it seem like it's an everyday thing that exists in our world and it should exist in our libraries and in our schools and in our houses.
Yes. Unfortunately, we're mic'd differently, or we would just drop the mic and we could leave.
Yeah.
That was cool. That was cool. Now, I know that you're famous for being in Hamilton, and that's such a cool thing too. So I'm telling you, I'm getting so many cool points. But you at 11 started a charity of your own. Tell us a little bit about what you did at 11.
Not as cool as your charity. My first thing is I would go to a senior home. My grandma lived in San Jose, and I was in San Diego, and I didn't get to visit her very often, but when I did, it seemed like I was the only visitor, and I feel like they are America's greatest generation that are completely forgotten about, and we are afraid of getting older, and so we kind of put them in the back of our mind. And so when I would go and visit, I realized I needed to get more teens my age involved, so I started this club at my school, not an organization, but called Adopt a Grandfriend, where we'd go and perform, and that's actually how I started singing, is because I would crack, I'd forget the lyrics, I'd mess up the words, and they wouldn't care at all, and so they were the best people to perform in front of. And I actually even started songwriting, trying different things in front of them because I just loved everything. And then afterwards, we would talk to them and build a relationship with them, and I learned a lot. And so that was what I started and what I was very passionate about, but I realized, like, as we get older, things absolutely change, and it just was the initial interaction with social good that I wanted to be involved in.
Pretty darn good for 11. I did none of that when I was 11, so my hat's off to both of you. Marley, has your foundation and your organization help people in your school have an impact on social change? What have you done to lead the charge to help others become and do what they're passionate about?
Well, this is a great question because a lot of the time my mom always says to me that as much as I might be successful and I might be able to help as many people, what about my best friends and my community members and the people who I see every day at school? How can I uplift them and elevate them with me? Because I'm not really being a successful person if I'm just thinking for myself and not thinking in a broader scale, but the people who I know and I see every day. So I've really been able to help them think about it more, and I think I want to raise awareness and consciousness, and I think sometimes organizations, they focus on just people knowing that a problem exists and being like, I recognize that, but consciousness makes you think about how you can help and what impact you can make using your resources and your community. So I've always tried to push them, like whether it's something that I'm not necessarily interested in, I try to push them to think about it and try to connect and blend their passions with their frustrations to create something that will help others.
So that's a quote, blend your passions with your frustrations and then do something. So yes, we're getting a lot of good tidbits here. And then when I was talking to you yesterday, you said that as an artist, you feel that there's a certain responsibility to use your platform. How are you using your platform now? And then the other thing I want to ask, just on the low, if you need me to understudy for you at any point in time.
Yeah.
I just wanted to throw that in there, but how are you using your platform?
Okay. I'll let my director know.
Thanks.
I think that for the first time in my life, I'm 25, and this is the first time I've had a job, like a career. I feel like I've made it because I don't have part-time jobs anymore. And I finally have the luxury to figure out what I want to say and what my voice is, and I think that that is absolutely connected with being an artist. I think being an artist and activist are one in the same. And so the first thing, I am now on the board of the Next Gen Society at the ACLU of Illinois. I've been involved with Planned Parenthood, been involved with Girl Rising. I'm working on this nonprofit organization with people from Chicago Fire that we met with DNC Chair Tom Perez and Keith Ellison last month. I am also realizing I need to just take a step back because performing 8 times a week is also very challenging. So trying to find that life balance, if anybody has any ideas, I would greatly appreciate that. That's been my biggest challenge right now, but I think that there is absolutely a necessity for this small platform that I'm on right now to be able to talk about the social good that I hopefully want to make and inspire other people.
Okay. So Aria just talked a little bit about taking things, using social, but then getting people together. So in what ways have you been able to actually bring people together to help 1,000 Black Girl Books?
Well, one thing that we try to do is that we have reading parties. I've had 6 of them, so and you guys want to have places where you can have reading parties, it's really appreciated because I need more. But we basically do this thing where we have a book, we central around a book. So first one we did was at the Department of Education a couple months ago, and it was themed around One Crazy Summer, a book by Rita Williams Garcia, and there was acting out skits, and we try to make sure that we can blend, another way to blend things, is to take another thing that I don't necessarily like acting or dancing that much, I enjoy it, but not that much, so I try to create those things and make reading seem like it's not just something you have to sit down and write a book report about, or have to present an oral presentation, but to make it something that's fun in any different medium besides that. So I try to use my social media, and my phone also is to tweet about it, or Instagram about it, or Snapchat about it, so that it's something that people can also experience from their homes if they're not able to come, and to learn the same lessons, whether it's going live or it's using Instagram stories. People are still able to see what I'm doing and to understand it and to want to do it themselves in their own rights.
Cool. And I know at Hamilton, we do a lot of, I'm part of the cast now. At Hamilton, sorry. I'm back. In Hamilton, I know that you have a lot of education programs and allowing children to come and see the program. How do you interact with the children during the show or after the show, and how has that really changed the course of your trajectory or what you think about?
So we have the EduHam program, which every company has 20,000 students come for only $10 based on $10 bill. And we had, specifically in Chicago, Title I school districts, so we had our last one for the next couple of months last week. And it's really incredible because they learn about Hamilton for 2 months before coming to the show, and then they actually perform. They choose the best individual from their class to perform something that represents them. One time it was really cool, this one little girl wrote about what it means to be Eliza, and so right before she was like, I'm gonna listen for my song, it's like all about what it means to be Eliza. And what we do individually outside of it, because it's 2,000 students coming. It's a little bit hard to have that actual interaction. We worked with the charter school in West Chicago. We sat there for 5 weeks and recreated the March on Washington with these students. And I led the music program, and so these kids wrote a song about what freedom meant to them and then performed it in front of their entire 8th grade class, which is really nerve-wracking. I would have never been able to write an original song and then sing it for the class. So that type of using the arts to be able to bridge the gap between Hamilton and education, and then afterwards we sponsored all of these students to come and watch the show and see us at work, because we've been working with them for 2 months and they hadn't even seen us in work. So those type of opportunities through our company of Hamilton, as well as outside opportunities that we find for ourselves, because that's what Hamilton is all about, is talking about the story of the past, talking about our founding fathers, but the way that we speak and the way that we look today. I always say that our Schuyler sisters are of completely different ethnicities. My 2 sisters look absolutely nothing like me, but yet they completely accept it. The audience accepts that we're sisters and there's no question asked. And you don't really find that in any other type of medium. So I hope that this will just change the way that the arts is in general.
Cool. So you ladies are doing so much, and I would be remiss without asking, what's next? What's on the horizon for you? Because I know you have some big things coming up.
So on January of 2018, my book, Marley Dias Gets It Done, and So Can You, comes out. It's a guide for activism. You can pre-order it, IndieBound, Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Just look it up, hashtag Marley Dias Gets It Done. You can pre-order it, and I would really like if you would, because it's really a guide for kids my age to do what I've done and to take these things that you love to do and I love to read, and to take this frustration of not seeing or lacking something inside of that field or that medium that you enjoy, and being able to do something and help other people, and making it not seem like a chore anymore. Like, making it seem like it's something that's normalized and something that's fun to do, because it is. I really enjoy what I do, and I want to make sure that it's something I can help others who maybe live in Idaho or live in Florida or live in Thailand can also experience and enjoy and read as well.
So I have to tell you that my daughter is 11, and when she was younger, especially when she was younger, it was important for me to have diverse books in the house. And not because you talked about it, not because you thought it was, the right thing to do, but when she's reading, she wants to see people that look like her. And it goes, I have another girlfriend who had a daughter with red hair, and she wanted to find characters with red hair. And so people want to see people that look like them, and that's so important. So that resource guide is wonderful, and thank you so much, because it puts it all in one place and it makes it really easy, especially for parents. I know that is, and educators as well, but thank you, because it's really been amazing. So
no problem.
Kudos to you.
Thank you. I always want to say that with the resource guide and with showing Black girl books, it's to develop a strong sense of identity for Black girls, and to have these mirrors into showing ourselves and understanding ourselves and valuing our experiences, and then as a window to people who are not Black girls to see our experiences and understand our experiences, so we can get rid of hatred or prejudice or ignorance that is not recognized by other schools or by our parents, so we can really understand and become better people and become a better community for one another and to support one another.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what do you have on the horizon?
I guess that all depends on the entertainment industry, and it's from one job to the next. One thing that I've realized, like I said, this is like my first time having a job career, and I've realized that life is long at the same time. So growing up, always wanting to be a singer and performer, getting the dream role of being Eliza Hamilton, and it's what is next. Yes, I want to accomplish things in the arts with TV, film. I'm a songwriter primarily, so releasing my album, but also seeing other things that I can be involved in, realizing, like I said, that there's a connection between being an artist and an activist and what that actually means for me. It's all noodling up here. I'm not exactly sure, but I think taking every opportunity, making sure that we open our eyes to all opportunities and not be so closed-minded.
Absolutely. And any closing thoughts, anything that you want us to know about your work or what you're doing or your thoughts? You have a wonderful audience here. Anything you'd like to share?
Well, I have 3 main steps that I think you all can use. They're important steps though. So the first thing is to amplify voices of millennials. I'm not a millennial, I'm a Gen Z, I think. Yeah, I'm a Gen Z. So I can't really speak for them, but I can tell you what I enjoy. So amplifying our voices and not trying to correct them always, like, I think my mom does a good job on this, Mom, where I don't know where you moved in the audience, but wherever you are, thank you, is that you have to, thank you, Mom. I don't know where she is. Oh, there she is, hey. Is that you need to like amplify and uplift these voices, and you have to respect the fact that they are not the same as yours, and that I am a kid in a different time than when you were a kid. So I will have a different take on things that may seem super similar to you, but they might feel completely different to me. So you have to understand that and always respect that. And also to meet us on our playground and to try to be like, you know, hip, try and do the things we do, and don't take it away from us. Like if you think the Running Man challenge is weird or you thought the mannequin challenge is weird, well, you still gotta try it because that shows us that you're cool and that you're with us. And that you wanna help us do whatever we wanna do, whether it was the Ice Bucket Challenge or whether it was what was happening with Tom's, that you're willing to connect with us and enjoy the things that we do to have a greater good and to help other people.
Thank you. So parents, it's important to try to be cool. It is. I have some very embarrassing pictures of me doing the Running Man Challenge. I do. I'm willing to admit, but that connection with the young folks is really important, and that connection with their friends and having your house be the place that people want to be and helping them start social change. That's really important, and so it is important to meet them on their playground, and I'm hoping that this conversation today will make you go home and do something that you don't really want to film, you don't want to take pictures of, but that will give you extra cool points. And last closing thoughts from you?
Yeah, I think one thing that I'm realizing too, that I have to think about what is a legacy 8 times a week. Spoiler alert, that's the last song of the show. And I'm forced to think about it, and I realize one thing that I have found a discrepancy in my workplace is women supporting women. I think that it's not there. My success, your success, her success does not take away from our own success. And I think that is something that's instilled into little girls, specifically that gender. And I think that it's the responsibility of the man and the woman to be able to come together to support women, to bring them up, because there are many spaces at the top for women, not just men. So I would love to be inspired by all of these incredible individuals here, men and women. If you have any ideas of what that means to actuality, and that's what's like noodling in my brain in terms of like what's next, to shed light on women supporting women and coming together, I would love to speak to any and all of you.
Cool. So that's going to bring our fireside chat to a close. I have to say, you ladies both inspire me. You make me want to be better.
You inspire us.
And, I'll go back to my workplace and we'll continue to do great things at JetBlue, but we'll continue to look for the North Star, but I'll always have you in my heart. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.